A Kiss Before Dying, from the Black Book of Vale and Vine, entry 187, as recorded by the unnamed keeper of the Dawnstar Sanctuary. It begins, as all such tales do, with a name whispered in the dark. But this name was not a noble's, nor a merchant's, nor a traitor's. It was a bard. He bore no title, no crest marked his cloak, no keep ever claimed his blood. Only his voice could entertain a crowded inn and draw tears from even the rusted soul of a sellsword. They called him Aaron the Silver Tongue, though no coin clung to his purse, and no silver graced his fingers. Only his songs gleamed. Only his words cut. The contract was simple, quiet, precise. A lesson, not a spectacle. He had wandered into verses better left unsung, lyrics that danced too close to a jarl's affair with a married mage. A dalliance whispered in shadows, now exposed in drunken stanzas. For that, Aaron's name reached the Night Mother's ears through black sacrament prayers. The parchment was marked, the rite spoken, and the silencer was chosen. She was the kind they warned initiates about. Beautiful in the way night is beautiful. Silent, endless, full of things you'll never quite understand. Her true name was never spoken. Some called her Nightshade, others simply Sister. Her eyes were the colour of slate. Her steps never echoed. Her devotion to Sithis was absolute. Until that night. She found him in Windhelm, singing beneath the snow-laced awnings of Candlehearth Hall. He sang of war, of ghosts, of stars that died too young. But it was his song of love that caught her breath and held it.
You who carry blades in the dark, come home, come home. I have left the window open.
She hesitated. Just a moment, but sometimes a moment is all it takes to unravel a life. Her blade, drawn, certain, never reached his throat. Instead, she lingered at the tavern's edge, still as frost, listening until the final note faded into silence. And then she vanished into the crowd, her heart suddenly loud in her chest. They crossed paths again days later in Riften. He sang for coin in the marketplace. She purchased poisons from a veiled apothecary. This time he saw her and smiled. That night, she followed him. Not to kill, but to understand why she hadn't. Through snow-dusted alleys, she shadowed him to a modest room above the mercantile. She stood outside his door for a long while, then knocked. What passed between them that night is not written in any scroll, only whispered between the lips of those who dare to speak of love within the Brotherhood. Some say she confessed what she was, dagger still sheathed. Others believe she told him nothing at all. And he kissed her anyway. Whatever truth lay buried in that hour, one thing is certain. She spared him, and in doing so she damned them both. They fled, took on false names, melted into forgotten villages, crossed snow-choked passes and dined by candlelight in crumbling inns. She burned her shroud, renounced her oaths, unbound her soul from Sithis, or so she thought. "I've left the window open," she whispered to him once, "but I fear what the wind will bring." For a year and a day, they lived like ghosts in a world that had no place for them. She carved protective charms into the cabin's beams, hunted rabbits with quiet snares instead of daggers. Her nightmares faded, her silence softened. But the Night Mother remembers. Sithis remembers, and the listener hears everything. The contract came again, this time to another, a junior assassin eager to rise. Oren, ever the fool for poetry and vintage wine, had grown careless. He began to sing again, under a new name, Talon. And in a tavern just outside Riften, he strummed the old verses once more. It was there she found him. Years later, seated on a stool, lute in hand, singing the song he once hummed beneath the falling snow of Windhelm.
Come home! Come home!
He saw her and smiled. She walked through the tavern slowly, like a ghost returned from ash. Her cloak was grey, her hood drawn low, her dagger hidden in her sleeve. Her hand trembled, but her stride did not falter. He sang on. When she reached him, she leaned close, kissed his cheek, and completed her contract. The crowd did not scream. They did not understand, not until the song ended mid-breath and the bard slumped forward, still smiling. She left behind only a note, pinned to the lute's neck. The Night Mother always gets her kiss. And that was the end of it, or so they say. But assassins talk, especially in the hours between dusk and death. And some whisper of strange happenings along the road between Riften and Ivarstead. They say that on fog-heavy nights you might hear a woman's voice singing in the trees. Software, mournful, steady. And if you follow it, you may see a flicker of firelight near the ruins of a cabin that no map remembers.